Hey guys, Tyson from Ox Strength, continuing with our One Trick series. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up your arch properly and then execute it with a proper leg drive. Now there are a few different ways to do the same thing, but we'll talk about some of the common techniques used and then how you could make it better. First things first, what arch does and what it doesn't, right? Because there are a lot of misconceptions, because I've seen and heard people reach out to me and seen on the internet that arch is dangerous on your lower back. It isn't dangerous on your lower back. If anything, it is actually safer for your shoulders, because lower back ma tapaiko stress परिरहेछ भने there's something wrong with your leg drive, and that will be addressed in the end of this video when we talk about leg drive. So it isn't dangerous for your lower back. And then back extension is bad when you're squatting, because our load is pressing us down against the ground. But in the case of the bench press, the load is pressing us down, but it's not causing direct compression on the lower back, but into our shoulders, which is in a properly tucked in position, and is actually better for the shoulders because it's in a safer retracted position. So arching isn't bad. It could be bad. Anything could be bad if done incorrectly. We're here for a reason, and we're going to be teaching you how to do it in a proper way. So arch is that. Second thing, benefit of an arch is it helps reduce the range of motion, which could enable you to lift more weight. Now there are some contradicting opinions about being able to lift more, whereas you could just lie down and then do the same thing with a lot of weight. But here's the thing, with the reduced range of motion, you are able to use greater loads, and greater loads have always shown to be more beneficial in muscle hypertrophy or simply building muscle. So greater loads use gare range of motion kame bhayo bhane pani we're targeting the chest. We are still using a lot of weight for the range of motion, and in return it will give you great muscle building options as well. But however, there are limitations, and we still have to address some accessory movements if you have tremendously short range of motion, like we talk about in our weakness series if you haven't watched it, or if it's not out by the time this video is out. But there are movements that you have to do, or you could do in order to combat that issue. So arching isn't a problem. So let's go ahead and see what an arch can do. But I'm not the biggest archer, but I still implement these tricks and techniques to improve मेरो bench press. So we've talked about this in our previous setup video as well, retraction, depression. So we're not going to be talking much about it. That is a given, and we're going to be doing it constantly in this video. So we'll call Ojas here, because when I talk and then demonstrate, I get out of breath quite easily. So we'll bring Ojas here and then set up a good bench arch. When he's setting up, he's doing the usual stuffs as well. So first, the most important thing here is we still want to put the pressure on our neck, and then the scapular retraction, depression, all those stuff. So his grip is fixed. It doesn't matter for the purpose of this video. So when we're setting up an arch, what we want to do is we want to make sure that hamro traps are in touch with the ground the entire time, and then we're driving our rib cage into the barbell every single time, eh? And then your final position. So he then slowly lowers his thing, and then when he's bringing his hips down, he still is fighting to bring his rib cage into the barbell. So that's the number one key. So once he's unracked the bar, he wants to bring the bar as low as possible, because this is the highest part of the bench arch, and we want to bring it over that. So just when we're executing the movement, we want to make sure that we're in a stomach vacuum. So stomach vacuum garदाखेरि the chest position rises slightly, and we're applying constant leg drive the entire range of motion. So he has a pretty good arch, but his arms are long, so his range of motion isn't the shortest. But as we're bringing the bar down, we want to make sure that hamro legs bata constant tension दिइराछ, and we're trying to take the ribs to the bar rather than bringing the bar to the ribs press. And then every single rep, we don't want to lose the scapular position that he's just built. Perfect. Right there. So यो त एकदमै basic नै भयो हैन. So arch setup गर्दा कसरी गर्ने, because it comes with time and practice, and then trying to execute the movement better every single time that we're actually doing the movement, हैन. But there are a few things outside of just setting up in a proper way, which will lead to better arch, such as mobility drills and things of that sort. Thank you just for being here. We'll go into mobility drills because setting up the barbell, doing it with intent every single time definitely helps. But there are some sticking points in our upper back and our traps. It could be in our chest, all these things. So we will address it using the foam roller and some mobility drills, which we will talk about now. So once we're set up with the barbell, usually you warm up ma garnu parcha yo movements haru, but since we want to open up hamro thoracic region most of the time, we want to start with doing thread the needles using the foam roller. So this is a very basic stretch, but this will really open up your thoracic region, your lats, if there's any sticking point that there is. And then we want to do same thing on the other side as well. Ojas has pretty good mobility in his thoracic spine, but sometimes ke huncha bhani like त्यति धेरै गइराखेको छैन जस्तो feel हुन्छ, especially for me. So what I like to do is just foam roll मेरो lats and then just open up the upper body in general. So he's placed it under his rear delts, and then he just looks for basically sticking points in his upper body. Yeah. So wherever there is stiffness, just go around it and then come back to it again, and then make sure that there is no sticking point, so your mobility isn't restricted. So yo bhaisakepपछि then he can again test it with the actual movement itself, and sometimes it works for the better, and sometimes you need to do more of the loosening stuff. And we want to do this on both sides just to make sure that there isn't anything sticking or feeling really rough, which could restrict in your range of motion. And especially हामीले squat or deadlift अगाडि गरेको छ भने चाहिँ it's even stiffer, so we have to loosen it up. Another stretch is the thoracic spine foam rolling. So basically just start the foam roller on your lower back and then work your way up slowly. Yeah. So यसको चाहिँ main purpose भनेको चाहिँ maybe around the mid lats area मा राखेर place hips down, and then take your hands overhead, and then just make sure that there isn't any tightness in the upper back region or even in your chest. If there's some tightness anywhere, you could just address it with movements such as this, and then just play around with the foam roller just to make sure that everything is loose, and then over time mobility will improve. So these are the basic 2 exercises that I usually recommend to get into the better arch position. But then arch is about repetitive movement, right? So सुरुमा हामीले गर्दाखेरि our arch is much less, and then with intent and with trying to get a bigger arch every single time, it will improve. But the key points is have a good leg drive, your setup is perfect, and then one of the trick is like the bodybuilder vacuum गर्छ नि, is a very similar technique. The bodybuilding मा चाहिँ chest लाई ठुलो देखाउनलाई they're doing a vacuum while keeping the ribs like waistline small at the same time. But in our case it's a similar thing, but when we're pressing air here, so अरु ठाउँमा जान्दैन नि त मुखबाट निस्केन भने, so it's gonna go up. So this will also help you reduce your range of motion. So yeah guys, thank you for watching this video. If there's any questions, we would be happy to help them down in the comments below. And like always, if you're interested in coaching with either one of us or other coaches in our team, the links are in the description down below. In our website, we have tons of customized training blocks for you, supplements, apparel, and anything related to fitness. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one.